Hello and welcome to the second Guildball Informer Hobby Training Session. As always, I'm James. I run a painting service called Yggdrasil Painting Studios. You'll be able to see the link in the top right hand corner now. In the last video we looked through some of our hobby tools and discussed what they were used for. In this video we are actually going to crack on and get some work done. Who are we working with? Today we are working with Obulus, the team captain of the Morticians. As you can see, he likes to wear black raven feathers and taking control of your miniatures. He comes in 1, 2, 3, 4 parts. Some pinning will be required, I think. He's got a bit of a Michael Flatley leg going on there. I'm going to say that's probably going to be tucked out of the way quite neatly and doesn't need to be pinned. We might need to do some green stuff work there to make the seam nice. We'll have a look later. He's got an arm which, yeah, that will need pinning, I would say. Yeah, best off to pin that, I think, and that'll need green stuffing as well. And then we've got this sort of flowing element here, and I'm going to say it's probably best that we clean this up but paint it separately. So for the moment we're not going to glue that on. You can see he's got a slotter base here. However, we're probably, I think, going to use a lovely Kickstarter exclusive base insert. So what we will likely do is we'll snip this off and make a pin out of it. We could drill the model and make a pin, but I actually think the slotter base there, we can make something out of that to secure him in place. Okay, so mould lines. Guys, I realise working with metals it's a little bit difficult to get you decent views of the miniature with all the reflections. I realise it's quite bright in here. I'll put my hands up and say I'm brand new at this. This is the first video I've ever edited. The previous video that you've seen was just all one single shot, and that was the first video I'd ever filmed for YouTube. So bear with me, and if anybody's got any suggestions or comments or tips, advice, I'd be really happy to hear them. Anyway, let's have a look at this guy and see what we need to do. We'll start with the easy thing, I think. We'll start with the staff. And we've got our files. I would, because this is a nice flat surface, we obviously need a flat file. And then when we get to the hand here, we'll need something relatively flat and thin. So for me, that's this tool here. You can see it's sort of a very shallow semicircle. Now, look at the piece, see where your mould line is. For a thin piece like this, brace it against your finger on the opposite side to where you're going to be filing, otherwise you'll find you're going to bend it out of shape. And then just file away. Don't be careful, there's a little angle here where the tip of the cane is. Don't file across because you'll file away that angle. So get rid of the mould line there and make sure you get right in the corner. Check your work visually. So that's, I hope you can, in fact I doubt you can see, but you're just going to have to take my word for the fact that that mould line's gone. And then on the tip of the cane, again, we were there before, now step up and just take that away, and it's as easy as that, really. The other side should be even easier. We've got plenty of access there. It's also important when you're filing a round object with a flat tool, don't just go in one direction. Angle and make sure you're filing in the round and keeping that round profile. Okay, and then on the other side, exactly the same. being careful not to interfere with this little piece here and file that away. So we go right up to that, but not over it. And then for the piece itself, that should do. And now we're having trouble. The file itself is a little bit too big for that area up there, so we'll take another flat tool. This one is squared off, but it's a much thinner tool. So get rid of that there, and again make sure we're filing in the round. On the top of the skull we will see that there's a little contact point where the sprue was attached. So we take that away neatly, and don't file too much because we don't want to change the shape of the skull. But what we've done, we want to round it off. Okay, that should be good. And now the inside of the cane. So now I haven't changed tools. I could have, doesn't really matter, I guess. The reason why we started off with that tool is so that we could get in against the hand there. But obviously here we don't have any of those issues. Here we can file there without any sort of problems. Okay, again, do a visual inspection. I can see there's a little bit here that hasn't been entirely done. Now, when we come to this, this is no longer a flat shape, so we're going to have a bit of trouble with a flat tool. We will file the top parts but not where the curves are. So now we're going to take a round tool, and a round tool is much better for organic shapes where there's some kind of curve to them. Again, we're going to remember to file in the round. And really there's another reason why we do this. I call it filing in the round. There's another reason why we do it. It's because a lot of the time you'll find that you actually think you've got the mould line, but what you've actually done is you flattened the mould line on one side only, and you haven't got rid of it completely. So whereas it was like that on the model, you've just done that to it, and then you still see this little bit here. But if you then file in the round, then you get rid of that as well, and you've got a nice join. Okay, that's looking pretty good. I think the underside of the arm we are going to see, so it's important to do this as well. Again, I prefer to use a round tool, but we have this problem that when we get to there, we're not going to be able to get the tool into the cracks. So we'll take this sharp one again to get right into the corner, and then we can reverse it and use the round side of the tool but the sharp edge. So guys, in the interest of keeping these videos as short as possible, I don't think it's helpful for me to file every mould line on this model in front of the camera for you to see. I don't think it makes for a very interesting video, and hopefully by now you should have got the basic principles of what we're trying to do here. It is a job which is really worth doing. Seeing a mould line on a painted model really does spoil the illusion and reminds you that you're looking at a piece of metal that's been painted rather than, you know, a little soldier or whatever. I'm also aware that we're starting off a very, very basic subject. For some of you, this will be, teaching your grandmother to suck eggs. So I'm sorry about that. Please know that in the future we will get on to more advanced topics, but I think it's very important to start from a base level that everyone can appreciate and move forward from. So fundamentals first, exciting stuff later. Please do take the time to like, share and subscribe. All of those social media things really help us. The channel is still very new. So I'm going to sign off there, and next time we are going to be looking at gluing and pinning.